Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here, and we have some really great things in store to share with you. But first of all, I just want to start tonight with a question that most business owners have never asked. And it's not, how's your business? It's not, so what are your goals for next year? But this one is the wolf already in your door? So you might be thinking, what wolf? I'm doing fine. Business is moving. I've got clients. I've got revenue. I've got QuickBooks. That's exactly what the wolf is counting on. Because the wolf doesn't announce himself, he doesn't send a warning letter, he doesn't show up when things are obviously wrong. He shows up in the gap. And the gap between the data that you have and the clarity that you actually need, that's the gap that gets all that self doubt running. So, tonight we're going to shine a light into that gap. We're going to show you exactly where the wolf lives in your business, and more importantly, how to build the kind of financial foundation that keeps him out permanently. And my name is Catherine Dager, and I'm a co founder of Quiet Books and the creator of the personalized profit system. And in about 60 seconds, I'm going to introduce you to someone who has been wolf proofing businesses for 41 years. But first, I need you to do one thing: pull out your phone, go to the URL, and scan the QR code that's on your screen. Because in about 20 minutes, you're going to take a 90-second quiz that will tell you exactly which house your business is built in. So keep your phone close. We're going to need it really soon. But first of all, I want to introduce you to my partner in building books and CFO in a box. And also, we are partnering to create this incredible financial system that you can have ready and available every single day. So I would like to introduce you to Albert Corey. And so, Albert, say hello to everybody.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody tonight? Are you ready to put more money in your pocket? By the end of this webinar, we're going to show you how to make sure your profits will be increasing with less stress and capital.
Fantastic. And Albert, I want to start with a question I don't think most financial experts get asked. In 41 years, what's the single most common thing that you've seen destroy a business that looked perfectly healthy from the outside?
People don't know their numbers. It's like the other day I was saying, when did QuickBooks talk back to you? So you're going to know your numbers, but you don't know where the money went. You just see a bank statement at the end of the month and it says you have more money than you did when you started. But at the end of the day, do you know where the money goes at the end of every month or in the month? And that's the key to business success is knowing where the money goes. And this webinar is going to show you what to look for and how to make sure because guess what? Every business is going to have different seasons and parts. And if you don't understand that, things can get very rough and you'll be one of the stats that says, I went out of business.
Exactly. And so what I'm getting from what you're saying is that it's not always a dramatic collapse. It's more like a slow leak.
It's a drip.
It's a drip. And that's exactly why we built Quiet Books. And that's exactly what tonight is all about. So let's talk about where that vulnerability actually lives. So we want everyone here to have to participate in this so you really know where you stand in terms of the risk that you in for your financial stability. So what I'm going to do is share my screen and we're going to take a quiz. And this is the quiz that is going to let you know if the big bad wolf is coming for you or if you've got it contained. So we're going to take this financial quiz and we're going to enter into this. Who is the big bad wolf in your business? So here you go. You go ahead, you'll enter in your name I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. And there we go. And I'm going to consent to receiving emails. And so just follow along with us. So here's the first question. How often do you actually review your financial reports? Now, isn't that a good question, Albert?
Yes. So for us regular people, how often do you understand your bank statement at the end of the month? Because that's really going to tell your system. It's going to tell you where you're at. You could do an income statement, which is how much income you made and what did you have at the end of the month. But if you're not reading it and knowing where everything's going, just reading it ain't going to help you. And just giving it to your bookkeeper is not going to help you.
Great. So for me, I know I'll answer this the way I would. I would say hanging out with you, I do it monthly. So I'm going to say, okay, monthly, but maybe sometimes I don't act on all of it.
I'm more, here's the trick on that. Since we all live, at least most of us live on bank apps. So if you have one of the bigger banks, you could check it every week.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait to the end of the month since my app on Bank America tells me exactly where I'm at any given day.
And mine at Bank of America also tells me what's going to be paid this week that I already have scheduled. So there won't be as many surprises. But do the question for each one of these beautiful business owners and entrepreneurs that we have is, do you know your actual profit from last month? Not revenue, but profit. And so if it's not really, hit that. If rough idea, but you're not exactly sure, or yes, I am sure. So rough idea is where I would go. Because sometimes I don't take the time to actually pro- process it. What?
No, we don't take the time. I do that a lot too. But you don't take the time to do a deep analyze because you're always running.
Exactly. And when we started creating the quiet books, we're looking through a windshield of driving a car and looking ahead, but not looking at the dashboard. And the dashboard may be on empty. You don't know if you're not checking it out, right? So, do your financial reports reflect how your business actually operates? So, maybe the reports are generic and confusing. Maybe sometimes you feel like the reports are giving you an accurate picture, but some things don't make sense. And or yes, they're built around your business. And I'm going to say for myself, because sometimes I don't know exactly what they're telling me. So also when you make a major business decision, that's when you really need to know where you stand in your business, right? So do you rely on gut feeling or current back bank balance? And that's to your first point, Albert, is a lot of people just look at the bank statement and think that's going to tell them what's going on in their business, and it actually doesn't. Or you might be getting a bunch of QuickBooks numbers, but it's not clear what it is that's going on. And maybe some of you have clear financial data and trends. And I'm just going to go middle ground here again. I know some numbers, but some of it, if I'm making big,
That's where most businesses are.
yeah,
Know your numbers, but you on your nobody, to be honest with you, a lot of people you should be at number three,
yeah,
their financial data and trends, but it goes back to nobody nobody is taking the time or having a consultant make sure you know the numbers.
exactly.
Uh, in our CFO in a box powered by Quiet Books, we're going to show you all these trends and what to look for.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and do middle ground again. And do you know your financial seasons? This is so important. So know if you don't know your seasons, every month might feel like a guess, or maybe have a general sense. And yes, you can predict and plan around them, but I'm going to have to say the truth. I have a general sense, but I'm not sure what seasons my business actually has. And if my revenue dropped 20% tomorrow, if your revenue dropped, would you know exactly what to adjust, to pivot, to turn it into something that becomes a lane that you can grow in? So, first, a lot of people don't know if something happened, where to actually start to analyze it and to change it. So, no, you'd panic, or I'd have some ideas, or ultimately, wouldn't it be great to have clear response plan? And do you know your most profitable service or product? Oh, Albert, you could talk about that, huh? How many people have no clue? Maybe they're pouring all these resources into something that's not
So
profitable.
what happens on that is, and you see it a lot of people at restaurants and other things, that in order sometimes to increase your profit, you just got to know what's moving. Why, if you're a restaurant, are you going to have 39 items when only five of them sell?
Yeah,
Why do you want to be spending the time? And if
exactly.
you're in business, you got, you're even in a regular service business, which we cater a lot to, you just got to know what to pinpoint. Why are you going to be marketing and push stuff that people just don't want or not?
Exactly. And you got to figure in your labor costs as well. So if you have employees that you're hiring and you're not actually tracking what your traffic is with your customers coming in, that you can be overspending in the labor area as well. So that can really kill your business. So if you know your most profitable service or product, my gosh, can't you see how strong that would make you? So if you're not sure, I'm going to say maybe I have a rough idea. And the other one is, do you know how to accurately categorize your business expenses? So what bearing does that have, Albert, on their profit?
Here it is. You got to know, you got to know 98% when somebody's doing the bookkeeping on QuickBooks or QuietBooks or whatever. They're all the honey books. There's three or four different ones.
Sure.
That if they're not put right, when you're looking over the income statement at the end of the month, you're not going to know how to make the right decisions. So if they're categorized wrong, I see that all the time. Where if it's put in the wrong spot, it's going to throw you're figuring out how to grow or what's wrong with your business, how to steer your business.
Exactly. And the other thing that I've heard you say so many times is that sometimes it's a trigger for an audit because they're actually deducting things that they shouldn't be. They're maybe taking entertainment and inflating what their expenses are.
And there's a story I will tell you about the vet, where you get so many people who put the joke is they don't cook. So everything's on Uber Eats. Now, yes, everybody going out to dinner, all that's deductible. But when you're at 40% of what you're depositing goes out to Uber Eats,
You know, the flag.
that's a flag.
Exactly. Or if you're deducting, if you have a home office and you're deducting too much of that, that could trigger a really big audit as well. Right, Albert?
So you just got to make sure everything is categorized right, where to go and how to put it.
Yep.
It always goes back to my thing is when's the last time QuickBooks talked back to you?
And what do you mean by that? What do we
Yeah.
want QuickBooks to tell us?
What it's going to tell you is you're just going to log it in. See, and that's going to be part of our webinar series where it's going to tell you, it doesn't talk to you. You just log it in. It doesn't
Exactly.
care where you put it. It's up to you to read and when it comes out to change it.
And I want to offer a gift right now to anybody that's attending this webinar, and that is we do have a quiz that can really assist you with a category confusion quiz. So you can if you put yes in the quiz in the chat here on this webinar, I'll send it to you. So I will be very happy to send that link. It's a very cool quiz, isn't it, Albert?
Oh, very good. It will tell
Yeah.
you exactly,
It's
kind of, you're going to learn exactly how good or bad you are in organizing your finances.
yeah, and it's not to make you feel bad or be judged. It's just a little bit of a wake up call to say, hey, you might be not keeping as much profit as you deserve. We want you to find money under your nose every single day. So I'm going to say the categorization, since we partnered and created that, I'm good, but I'm not you, Albert. You're great. One of the things I love about Corey and Associates is in 41 years, 150,000 clients and 115,000 businesses opened, no audits and counting. So that is what Albert knows exactly what triggers the IRS, and we are there to have your back. So, do your financials help you make decisions, or are they just tracking history? So, if they're just tracking what happened, then how good are they? You're looking in the rear view mirror there, or occasionally helpful, or they are my primary decision tools. So, I'm going to say occasionally helpful is pretty much where most people are, right? So,
Right.
that's good.
It should be the third one.
Exactly. So, what this quiz is showing you is that from my answers was the middle of the ground is that I'm a hidden risk in that I'm not going to go right out of business with this, but there's a lot more I can learn and a lot more that the numbers can do to support me and my business. So at the end of your quiz, you're going to be able to know where you stand right now. So stay tuned and we're going to move forward from here. Did you enjoy the quiz?
It was very good because
Mhm.
and it was eye opening. And if you're in our program, we'll go over that again.
Yep,
We'll be going over it again because every section of that quiz is pretty much how your business is going to grow or increase your profits and know the financial literacy you need to take your business to the next level or for
exactly.
success.
So I'm going to, because of the quiz, it's going to give you a high risk number if you really don't know where you stand with your numbers. It's not, again, not a judgment. It's really just to let you know, hey, might need some support in that area.
Catherine, I would change the wording to it is your wake up call
It's your
because
wake up call.
it's your wake up call. Because here's the way I would look at it is if you did it honestly and truthfully, it unless you're at the 85% level of the answers, then it's your wake up call to figure out what you need to do best
Yeah.
or what do you need to work on.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing of the quiz is it's going to show you what you need to work on.
That's great. And it's like just if that's the high risk and the middle risk we're feeling so that we likened it to the three little pigs just for fun and to give you us an image. But the first pig is very vulnerable because their house is built of straw. And it was huff and puff and I'm gonna blow your house in. That was what the big bad wolf was saying. But what you're saying, Albert, is the big bad wolf there. It's a wake-up call. It's you. It's not something out there. It's really what you know about your own business. And you're not empowered with numbers and facts and information to see what's trending, what's not, what the seasons are. How much risk are you in with your business?
I'd even go one step further. Basically you got to know the numbers because what happens in the three little pigs, pig number one just made money, didn't know where it was going. Pig house number two, he knew the money coming in, but he wasn't planning and knowing the different aspects of your profits. Where's it going? Are you preparing? And the third one is you're there, but nobody, Miss Catherine, on the third one, you know your profits, you got all your seasons together, but are you really at 100%?
Yeah.
In my world, the close you are, I don't think anybody's going to get to the 100%, but I will guarantee you most of us are at the 60 and we probably need to be pushed to the 90. And when you get to the 90, it's just stuff that you just on factors that you just couldn't anticipate.
Exactly. And one of the things you and I talked about was how that actually works out in people's lifestyle. And how many of you that are listening and are participating with us relate to this? Relate to this. If you have that blind spot of really not knowing what your numbers are and not knowing where the business is going, we call that the hamster wheel. What ends up happening with you in your business if you're and also avoiding looking at things because you're afraid of what it's going to tell you. So those are some of the things people live with day in and day out. And that's a painful place to be, isn't it, Albert?
I got a best way to describe the hamster wheel, how you can get destroyed very quickly, why you got to know your seasons, why you got to follow the class, because this thing called COVID came around.
Yeah.
And here's what happened during COVID. The ones who were financially sound figured out how to go through, and they actually made more money than ever. Ones who didn't plan or didn't have plan, necessarily always plan B, but didn't understand seasons, didn't understand what could happen. That happened. I was at a seminar, and somebody was in the real estate industry that they had an adjustable rate. If you know anything about the what's happening in the real estate, interest rates shot way up. So they got it at a variable rate at 3%, and they didn't finish. I don't know. I wasn't privy to that part of the project. Then it went up to 7. I can tell you tales of 2 different people I know. One person had the background or had the waiting for things to, the am I using the right words here? The backbone, their capital reserves, their ducks in a row for things will happen, and the project continued. The other person, they just had to turn everything in because they weren't ready for the winter. They weren't ready because they didn't know the numbers. One person knew the numbers and was prepared when the winter storm came and smacked them in the face, and the other guy just walked away because he couldn't survive.
Yep. And you just finished tax season with your thousands of clients, and some of them ended up they sold something the year before.
And they got totally wild. How they Here's what winter means to some of these people, and we'll go out on this. You took a monster 401k out or something to buy a house, but you didn't anticipate that there's a super extra tax, and you just got whacked. Or the person who got money from somebody dying, they had 800,000, they went and bought a house without thinking I need to put money. Oh, I can go buy a house cash, and they did not anticipate that they could owe money to the government at 800,000, and now they're in deep lands because
Yes.
they're the IRS like without planning or calling.
And I remember one situation that you had too, where a woman or a person just didn't even know they were supposed to declare sales tax, and they didn't pay the sales tax, so they got slammed.
They are getting
Uh,
right.
I mean, that's like a Walking Dead right there. Right?
It goes back to what we were saying before we move on here. It's just that you got to know the seasons. You got to be prepared. And if you don't know your numbers and how to understand it and plan, and that's what Quiet Books and powered by CFO in a Box does, where we're going to show you in our class what you need to do to cover to make sure you understand what's going on.
And even better, so much better, is we will build you a financial system that's based on your business, not just based on numbers, but it really tailored to exactly what it is you're doing. even a lot of accountants don't know your business. And so if they don't know your business, and I'm going to tell you, every time I'm with Albert and he's in a crowd of people or standing on a stage and talking, he can assess a person's business in about 3 minutes and find them money every time. And it's because he understands their business. And you've seen some pretty crazy businesses out there. So there's always a surprise, isn't it?
Here's what else we got to put this across real quick if you're watching this, that you can have your accountant, bookkeeper, we could do all that if you need that service, but this whole project we are launching is all based on knowing the numbers. Because I can tell you from doing this for 41 years and speaking on stages, no accountant, no bookkeeper, you show them the income statement, you file your tax returns, and that's it. They're not there. Nobody's there to say in August, yeah, we're in August or whenever we're doing this is May, that May of the following year of your tax return. Are you planning for the next year? What's going on? And we're at mid-year as we're shooting this. Bottom line is, with a CFO in a Box powered by Quiet Books, we're going to show you the different seasons. We're going to show you, are you planning for an IRS big hit? Are you planning that maybe you got money extra over to vacation? Are you planning for, you're making money, let's invest in ourselves or our business?
Or even repairs for whatever your situation is. There's repairs that need to be done. Or I have a 26-year-old refrigerator, so I'm saving money to replace it. It still makes ice, so I'm not throwing it out yet, but it's that's old Betsy. I just love her.
But that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
It's a,
We're not trying to sow fear into you, but I can tell you after doing this forever, most people in the small business world, actually from mid to small, if you're watching here, you'll guarantee you're mid to small. You don't know you might know your numbers at the end of the income statement, but do you know where the money is going? Are you categorizing?
exactly. And the other thing that I know, and we've talked about it with so many people opening businesses, like we are finding there's a new huge trend that's been going on since 2023, and that is so many more women are opening businesses. And we're not talking about millennials. We are talking about people who are in a soul sucking job in the corporate environment that decided, you know what, I'm going to go do what I love. I've got my husband that's willing to help finance me. I'm going to embark on a business. But then all of a sudden, they're hitting a wall called self-discipline because they don't necessarily have to wake up at a certain time, and they have their slippers. They don't have to go and get in the car and go and commute. But the truth is, self do it yourself accounting and self discipline are really important parts of getting your financial system put together. Would you agree, Albert?
Yes, for sure. But you got to get it all together. And that's what we're here for. You can listen to this. We got some amazing, when you're signing up with us, there's no doubt, I'm going to full one to tell you that we're here to help you grow. And if when you sign up to our systems, that's what we're here for.
And
we're here to take you to the next level, and will be a money back guarantee. If you can tell us at the end of the program we didn't give you any wisdom or knowledge, then we'll give you your money back.
yeah, and I'm going to say that when I was looking at this big bad wolf and just sensing, because I've had my own business also for over 40 years, but I'll tell you, not knowing makes you freeze sometimes because you're afraid of failure. So sometimes you just get into that bottleneck where you just stand there and go, I don't know what to decide. I don't know what to invest in next. I don't know where I am. And that is the big bad wolf. You can actually bypass all kinds of great opportunities that are happening right now because you're not capable you don't have your ducks in a row, as Albert said, to be able to say yes to opportunities that are arising. And right now, in the era of AI and how many wonderful, incredible technologies that we have available to us, there is no reason ever to suffer or to lose sleep over the fear that you might lose your business or that it won't last for over the first year. So we're here to help you build stability. And I'm going to say that's why we're calling it quiet books, because we want it to be quiet books, because we want it to be quiet. We want you to have your numbers not screaming in your ear, but we want them to be sorted. We want them to be customized to fit your business and to fit literally the behaviors that you can do every day to drive your results, to drive the actual success of your business. Let's talk a little bit about our personalized profit system, Albert. So tell them about what the limitations that just getting numbers from a spreadsheet, QuickBooks, Zero, all the different places that people get their numbers. What is the deficit what's the gap between those accounting systems and having something that literally tells you about your business?
So what's going to happen is, okay, so we all know you get the income statement, which is what you made against all your expenses, and it gives you a number. Hopefully it's a black number, which means you made a profit. But along the way, you don't know where the money's going. And the financial dashboard is a system that we built in through the quiet book system that it's going to show you. We're going to go through part of what we go through with you is we're going to help you figure out what is the seasons, what are your seasons, how to increase revenue inside your business so you can do other things. If you have money left over, are you going to have money left over that if you're making too much money, that maybe it's time you invest in yourself to pay less to the government.
And also to know when to hire people, dark, bring people on for support, and if you need somebody on a regular basis or just maybe a fractional position to help you build your business, all of those things are almost impossible to anticipate with certainty if you don't have all of the information in front of you in a very simple to understand way. So that's what we're building, your customized dashboard. So you really be able to read everything, and every single night you can take a quick look and you can see if your business is trending for growth, or if you maybe need to shift some of the things that you're doing to accommodate changes in the trends in the seasons. So we really want you to consider at this moment in time, how helpful would this be to you to actually have all of this organized? And if you're a startup, how perfect to get this set at the beginning. If you've been struggling at all, don't waste one more minute. There's no reason to suffer. But what we want to do is take you by the hand and have a clarity call with you. And we only have 10 slots available because we get inundated with people. So we have 10 slots and we want to offer one of those to you so that we can get on a call with you and learn about your business, do a mini assessment. So whatever, and with no obligation. So through this mini assessment, we are definitely going to be able to show you part of a plan that, of course, we need to fill in a lot of the question marks, but this will be the beginning of the plan to put your dashboard together. So and Albert, what else did we put into this system?
What we put in, one of the biggest things we put in the system is it's going to be set up that you know where you're at any given time. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That it's going to be set up that you just put in your bank statement and it's going to read out what you need. And then once you get the readout, we'll be able to guide you where you want to go.
Exactly.
And we have a couple of plans going out for you. We have a DIY, do it yourself, and we have a we do it for you plan. So depending on what you want to do, the original thing will be you're going to get a 6 week class. When you sign up with us, we're going to give you 6 weeks to help you figure all this out.
Well, they've actually we're expanding it to 8 weeks. So yeah, so the first 4 weeks, just a real brushstroke on this, but the first 4 weeks are when you're actually going to create, it's a do it with you to create your dashboard so that you have that. For the first 4 weeks, we'll onboard that. We'll make sure you know your business, and you'll be working with a group of owners of businesses so everyone can share some of the metrics that really give them so much certainty about what they're doing in their business. And the final 4 weeks is all about becoming your own CFO so that you can actually analyze your business. But we want to give you branding. We want to help you with your marketing. We want to help you with your, if you need hiring, we'll help you with that. Whatever the business is that demands it, we are going to make sure that you, by the end of 8 weeks, are clear, you have a plan, you have all the tools, the technology that you need to go forward with peace of mind. And how would it be to wake up as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, with peace of mind in your heart every day? How much is that worth to you?
Definitely take your business to the next level, that's for sure. And if you can wake up every day not being nervous and excited, that's worth more than the price of the program.
Exactly. And what happens to business when people are full of anxiety, Albert?
They make stupid decisions,
Yep,
and that's what's going to bring you down.
exactly. And the other thing is, if you don't have someone to talk to about these, then you're really at a disadvantage. And one of the things you first said was, does QuickBooks talk to you? The answer is no, there's no advising going on. And that's what we know is our strength, but you don't need it forever. You'll need to get yourself into your rhythm. Is there rhythm to their business, Albert? And the season so that you really can maximize the opportunities that are right in front of you. So we are offering the call, the clarity call to start your mini assessment. We really hope that you jump on this and do it for yourself. So your big bad wolf that lives inside of you isn't going to gobble you up, but that you're going to overcome any self doubt, any fears that you have about your financial system, and have something that you can work with and look forward to using every day and know where you stand any minute with your business. And of course, along the way, you're going to have so many benefits. So, how many of you are going to jump on a call with us? We look forward to it.
Yes, and we're going to get your business to the next level. So you want to get started, there'll be a link in the chat right now that you can click to do your special assessment.
Exactly. So we really look forward to, so book your call right now and we will be with you, and we look forward to having your business be amazingly successful.